They will.
Allergic to crazy questions.
No, and hear me when I say this.
I'm listening.
I'm not saying Andy Dalton is better for Dak Prescott.
I'm still with you.
I'm saying that Andy Dalton is better for the Cowboys right now than Dak Prescott.
2020 Cowboys.
Right? Like, just because Dak Prescott, every 10 don't mean she a great 10 for you. Okay? Like, she can be a great 10 for somebody else. Andy Dalton is going to prove that the Cowboys are better with him because the Cowboys are finally going to understand who they are with Andy Dalton.
Oh, okay.
With Andy Dalton, the Cowboys are finally going to realize, oh, wait a second. We should be a run-first football team because we have a top-tier rusher. With Andy Dalton, the Cowboys are going to say, wait a second. We don't need to run quarterback keepers in which Dak Prescott unfortunately gets hurt because we have a plethora of receivers. Okay. That's my first point. The Cowboys are going to have to look themselves in the mirror with Andy Dalton and see who they really are. The other point is this. Let's not act like Andy Dalton ain't good. Everybody's going to say Andy Dalton hasn't been good in 4 or 5 years. But I submit this.
Submit what?
Andy Dalton was great when he had 3 good weapons at receiver. Andy Dalton coming into the league. A.J. Green, Jermaine Gresham, Marvin Jones. A.J. Green, Marvin Jones, Mohamed Sanu. A.J. Green, Tyler Eifert, Mohamed Sanu. When Andy Dalton has 3 capable receivers, he balled. Let me tell you things Marcellus Andy Dalton done which Dak hasn't. How about back-to-back 10-win seasons? Andy Dalton has actually thrown for more than 30 touchdowns. Dak's never done that. How about this? Andy Dalton came back and in 2 quarters had a game-winning drive. Dak has had 1 game-winning drive in the last 2 seasons. Let's not talk like Andy Dalton can't play ball. The Cowboys will be better tonight with Andy Dalton simply because the Cowboys will be a better version of themselves with Andy Dalton. Not that Dak Prescott isn't better than Andy, but Andy is better for the Cowboys.
Oh, so less is more for the Cowboys.
Can be.
Trying to tell me. Oh, it can be or it
can
is?
be.
Oh, now you went from an emphatic take. Emphatic take to now, well, it can be.
For the Cowboys, it will be.
Say it with your chest, Emmanuel.
I already did. I already did.
All right, don't hide behind them old-ass facts on Andy Dalton. And you talk about, when he has everyone else carrying him, guess what? He can do something. No, less is more in certain examples in life. In this situation, I think what's going to happen is they're going to have clarity. So I look at the Dallas Cowboys and I say, no, you're not going to be better off with him at quarterback. You're going to have someone who can sustain what you want in terms of accomplishing your goals because you got a serviceable quarterback. But he's no Dak Prescott. But what it's going to make you do is realize since you have less, you have to ask more of everyone else, which Andy Dalton is going to benefit from. Congratulations to you, Andy Dalton, because now you can realize that this team doesn't have to go out there and throw it 50-plus times, that they actually can use their other weapons and use their running game in Ezekiel Elliott. Congratulations to you, Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton will also benefit from the fact that this team may stay pat. And what happens then? You become, at best, Nick Foles. At least
Super Bowl MVP?
Yes, Super Bowl MVP. Go, Andy Dalton. And what happened to Nick Foles after
he won the Super Bowl right MVP? Now, but I'm not going to die. He's 5-1 for
What happened to him right after? Oh, you still our backup. You know going forward that the young guy
Can you get
is
to your
still
point? Can you get to your point?
You want to skip over that. And then he came back and had another chance to be Nick Foles 2.0 and do it again. And that didn't go as well. But then they said, you're still not our quarterback. Andy Dalton, you realize that greener pastures are elsewhere. So now you're not Nick Foles, even if you can win a Super Bowl MVP. You're Teddy Bridgewater. Go out there and win all the games you can. And then take all of that success, you're welcome, and then take that elsewhere and have your career. Because, Andy Dalton, we're not going to allow you to be the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys going forward because less is not more when we look around with the star on our helmets.
Here's the problem, Marcellus. Your argument undermined your own argument.
How?
You came out the gate, and the very first thing you said is Andy Dalton won't be better than Dak Prescott for the Cowboys. But Andy Dalton will sustain what you want in terms of accomplishing your goals. Marcellus, I don't need, and you know this better than I, married man. I don't need somebody who I can just simply show off, is a designer handbag, right? I don't need a significant other like that. I want somebody who can, as Marcellus just said, sustain what I want in terms of accomplishing my goals. You just said it. If Andy Dalton can come in here and help the Dallas Cowboys accomplish their goals, that makes them better. That makes him better than Dak Prescott. I don't need Andy Dalton to throw the ball 57 times. But hint, I didn't need Dak Prescott to either. I don't need Andy Dalton to pass for 6,000 yards. But hint, I didn't need Dak Prescott to
like
either.
this.
I don't need Andy Dalton to be on pace for 36 passing touchdowns. But I didn't need Dak Prescott to either. Let's look across other sports, because sometimes we can learn some things by looking at other sports.
Yeah,
Michael Porter Jr., shooting guard for the Nuggets, right? Remember when after they lost to the Clippers,
should have been for the Clippers.
Porter Jr. comes out and says, "Man, you know what? We have more than just two players. We have more than just Jamal Murray and more than just Jokic, the Joker. We have more than that." Everybody called him crazy. Hey, man, stop talking so much, young buck. You just got out here. You just a rook. What you doing all this talking for? But he was right. Because what happened? The Nuggets go on to pull off the biggest playoff upset we've seen in recent history, beating the Clippers. Because what he was saying is this: by just forcing the ball to our two stars, we're not actually being as good a collective team as we can be. I submit the same thing for the Cowboys.
Okay.
Dak Prescott was a star, a bright, shining star. But by forcing the ball through Dak Prescott's stardom, you forget you have Ezekiel Elliott, a top 4 running back since he's been in the league. Really, you could argue that Zeke's a top 2 running back. I don't need you to do so much, Andy Dalton. Just do enough.
Man, and you just showed why I'm married and you single, and you still trying to figure
Honestly,
it out.
because you're older. That's what my standards are high. My standards are high.
Oh, but they're not realistic. You just went out there and tried to use my words against me, but they just helped me because they're my words. You said you're happier with someone who can help sustain what you want in terms of goals.
Sustain in terms of accomplishing your goals.
You like that Andy Dalton version. I want someone who can enhance. Not just sustain, not just hold me down. That's why you're still single. You just want somebody to just basically hit your wagon to me and let's ride, but don't make no waves. I want someone to enhance, to challenge. What happens is when you're the Dallas Cowboys now, you go from a situation where you used to throw the ball 66.2% of the times, second most in the NFL, and you realize that now we have Andy Dalton. There's not a chance in hell we can do that. And you want to turn that into a positive. The only positive that occurs is if Ezekiel Elliott goes back to his old form, which there is no indications just yet that he will do that. When the last time Zeke had 100 yards? Okay, I'll wait too. You got to go way back to the middle of last year. This is the situation where you look at the defense, and now you're -8 in the turnover margin, and you're saying, defense, finally go out there and live up to the billing. Oh, wait a minute, what if they can't? Then you look at the offensive line, -3 starters, and everyone's been reshifted on the offensive line, and you say, please just hold it together. I'm understanding where you're coming from. If the defense plays better, if the offensive line plays better, if they run the ball better, and Zeke carries the ball better, you got something. But guess what you don't have? A better quarterback. And all of that is necessitated because your quarterback is actually less.
Marcellus, I know you've been in L.A. too long because
my whole life.
When talking about Dak Prescott and enhancing, what I realize is you have this L.A. mentality.
Ooh.
See, in Los Angeles, there are a lot of fake enhancements. See, in L.A., what I've realized in Hollywood, there are a lot of fake enhancements.
It's real. Did they pay for it?
On the
It's
surface, it looks like it's enhanced.
Did they pay for it?
But really, it's not necessarily contributing to legitimized enhancements of deeper things, things that aren't diminishing assets, such as personality. Let me tell you why. Dak Prescott, he was 1-3 this season. Did all those yards enhance the Cowboys? Dak Prescott, he was 7-11 in his last 18 starts. Did all that Dak Prescott fame and all those yards, did that enhance the Cowboys? See, on the surface, Marcellus, you're shallow. Because you look at Dak Prescott and you're like, oh, so many yards. Oh, my gosh, so many. He's on pace for 6,000 yards, on pace for 36 touchdowns. You're looking at fake enhancements. You're looking at the nails. You're looking at the hair.
Hey, girl.
You're looking at the chest.
What it do?
But the problem, Marcellus, stop looking at diminishing assets. Look at assets that can grow. Andy Dalton is going to contribute to an asset that can grow. Winning percentage.
Okay.
Andy Dalton is going to contribute to an asset that can grow. Time of possession.
Yeah.
Andy Dalton is contributing to assets that will help the Cowboys grow in winning games. Stop looking at Dak Prescott, who was great by the world's eyes and the world's standards. He was enhancing his own statistical category. But was he enhancing the Cowboys' success? No, sir, he wasn't.
So you called me shallow. You hit me where it hurts. Hit dog hollers.
I just spoke the truth.
I hit dog hollers. That's why I got engaged 4 times. I was in them streets. But you know what? Since I'm so shallow, I have changed my ways. I am married, love my wife, love my family. Let's go deep, shall we?
Shall we?
Okay. Tell me if this Andy Dalton is a diminishing asset or appreciating asset, as you want to say. You love to talk about his highlights. You love to talk about his Instagram posts. I like to live his real life. I want to follow him day to day and see who Andy Dalton is, or more importantly, what have you done for me lately?
Go ahead.
Let's look at Dak Prescott versus Andy Dalton. Okay, here's their win and loss percentage. Andy, what's going on, man? You lost a lot more games than you won. Completion percentage. Come on, Andy Dalton. The hell you doing that low almost now by 60%? Passer rating. Oh, come on, Andy. I thought you had weapons. All right, 106 passing touchdowns to 80. Andy, this is since Dak Prescott was drafted, y'all. So the red rifle. Ooh, what have you done for me lately? 24 rushing touchdowns for 8 for Andy. And, Andy won. That's more interceptions than Dak Prescott. Take that full screen off so I can look at Acho. You in L.A. now. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. Listen to your boy. Let me help you out first of all. Here, Andy Dalton. This Andy Dalton is what they're getting. They're getting this guy. Please don't give me a few quarters of New York Giants football. You're getting this Andy Dalton, and this is much less than you desire.
Here's my issue with what you're saying, Marcellus, and it really comes down to this. It's not apples to apples. Remember Dak Prescott. What happens with Dak? Dak Prescott walks into the NFL, inherits the best offensive line in football.
Of what?
Dak Prescott walks into the NFL, inherits the top 5 overall pick at running back. Dak Prescott walks into the NFL, inherits a Hall of Fame tight end, and inherits the Cowboys' leading receiver in touchdown history. Dak Prescott walks into the NFL and inherits that. And then just a couple years in, Dak Prescott gets the first-round pick in Amari Cooper and gets another third-round pick in Michael Gallup. And then by Dak Prescott's 5th year, he has a first-round pick in CeeDee Lamb, a first-round pick in Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, a first-round pick in Zeke. Dak Prescott, remember, had a lot of weapons.
Yeah.
Can we please give Andy Dalton the same courtesy? That's all I'm asking you.
Okay.
Andy Dalton now has the same weapons that Dak Prescott has had the luxury of having. Don't look at Andy Dalton since 2016 when he's gone through a coaching change, when A.J. Green has decided
Dak didn't go to a coaching change? Dak didn't go to a coaching change? Oh, no, I'm
Don't look at Andy Dalton in this short window since 2016 and say, you know what, Andy, you have never accomplished anything. Because like I told you.
I didn't say.
Okay, like I told you, Andy Dalton, more touchdowns in a season than Dak had in 33. Dak's high is 30. Andy Dalton, back-to-back 10-win seasons. He strung those along. He had 5 consecutive, I believe, double-digit win seasons. Maybe there was a 9-win season in there. Andy Dalton is a capable quarterback. He's going to show you that tonight.
Yeah.
And the most important thing you have to remember, just because she a 10 don't mean she good for you. Dak Prescott showed that he had 10 capabilities, but that does not mean that he was the greatest piece for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Andy Dalton will help the Cowboys be better.
Oh, I love you now. And I love you so much, I'm going to let you down gently. Because when you start regurgitating your facts, then I realize, he knows this relationship is in trouble. And that you want to go back to where you guys first met. And you want to go all the way back to the beginning of your takes. This is where we first had our first date and try to rekindle that. Boy, if you don't stop and give me some new facts, I give you some new facts. Since Dak inherited so much, like he Prince Akeem from Coming to America, he didn't inherit that damn much. He inherited 4-12 as a record from the year before. That was a 4-12 team that Dak made a 13-3 team.
Oh my
I know
God.
you want to dive into the details.
Stop skewing the numbers, Marcellus.
Oh, no, you mean the details that you want to go and have, and we can
Tony
talk for
Romo
hours?
was hurt. They had no quarterback. That's the only reason they had 4 wins.
Dak Prescott came in there as a rookie and took a 4-12 bunch to 13-3. True or false? Go ahead. I got time to be on this first date again.
Then Andy Dalton inherited a 1-3 team, and that team is currently at 2-3. So if Dak Prescott inherited a 4-12 team, then Andy Dalton also inherited a team that was on track to be 4-12. Let's see where they finish.
Can I order from the menu? Shoot, Chach. I told me talking so much. Did Andy Dalton inherit the 31st ranked offense? Because Dak did, and Dak gave Andy actually the first ranked offense. Ooh, excuse me. Did Andy Dalton inherit a team that was last in takeaways and giveaways, 32nd? No, he didn't. He's not inherited that. He's inherited something pretty bad. But in that point, this is a situation where I think, like you said, to address it fully, they're going to be in a situation where they're forced to use others. They're going to have to form Voltron. Everyone has to activate for this to work. Andy Dalton will benefit from that, and Andy Dalton won't be the reason that they lose this year.